1. What was the main event in WrestleMania 1, boys?
Had to be Hogan and Mr. T versus Roddy Piper and Mr. Wonderful.
You got it. You got it. Muhammad Ali and Pat Patterson were the guest referees. There was 2 of them. Yeah. All right. WrestleMania 2 from Rosemont.
Now, wait a minute.
Actually, WrestleMania 2 had 3 different locations.
It had 3 different locations. One of them was King Kong Bundy and Hogan, right?
That was the main event. Even though it was 3 different locations, that was the main event. It was a steel cage match. Cage match.
The blue cage. The blue
that was
metal bar.
Yeah, oh God. Nassau Coliseum, Rosemont Horizon, and the LA Memorial Sports Arena were the 3 venues for that. Okay. All right. WrestleMania 3, Paul. I'll let you take this one.
Paul, you can have this one.
You should get this one.
That was Hogan and Andre.
Yes.
Silverdome.
From Silverdome.
Silverdome, yep.
Remember WrestleMania 30 in the Superdome when Hogan said Silverdome.
Yes.
WrestleMania 4. This was Atlantic City, New Jersey. Actually, 4 and 5 were both from Atlantic City. So what was 4?
Were these the ones that are really, really bad? Or was the one in Vegas that was really poor? The yoga?
Vegas.
Okay. Ugh. These are the ones. One of them was Hogan and Macho Man, wasn't it?
That was 5. Yep, for the title.
Was 4 Hogan and Warrior when they both were title holders?
Nope. 4 was Savage and DiBiase in a tournament for the vacant title.
Okay.
And then WrestleMania 6 in Toronto at Skydome. What was that one?
Ooh, 6 and what year would that have been?
6 was, let me see here, that was 1990.
1990. Oh, man. I'm old.
I was 3.
Thanks.
I was -2.
So I was the old.
Gotcha.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm gonna pass on this one.
You just said it was Warrior versus Hogan for all the titles.
Okay, all right.
Which the Warrior won because Hogan was kind of on his way out and at the time.
Okay, I'm just gonna say I don't know much Mania history. I will be the first to admit that. So here's what we're gonna do. All right, I'm gonna make this real interesting for both of you. Tanner, you're going to keep asking who is the main event.
Okay.
If Shep can get at least 90% correct, I will vacate the title and you two will battle it out Friday night.
Ooh.
At Supercard.
I like this.
Wait a minute. All the way up till the modern day?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
You can do it. You're doing good so far.
So what, we're on the 91?
Yeah, we are 91, which is WrestleMania 7 from the LA Memorial Sports Arena. This was an interesting storyline.
WrestleMania 8 was at the Hoosier Dome, correct?
Yes.
And that was I'm gonna skip 7 right now because I remember 8 was Macho Man and Ric Flair?
Yep, because they screwed it up. They put Hogan against Sid Justice at the time. It should have been Hogan and Flair. That's what everybody wanted. They screwed it up.
They had Macho and Flair. Okay, that was 8. 7. Oh, man. Had to be. Man. Shoot.
No clues, Tanner.
No clues, Tanner.
I'm not saying nothing. It's just good storyline. That's all I was saying.
It was a good storyline. Oh man, it had to be Hogan and Macho, Mega Power.
You got Hogan right. Hogan and Slaughter. They turned Slaughter heel.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So now we're on to WrestleMania 9 from Paradise, Nevada, Caesar's Palace. This Mania sucked eggs.
One. That was wasn't it was it the Giant Gonzalez versus Hogan? No, Hogan came back. Hogan came back at that one. God, I remember. I got nothing.
That was Bret Hart versus Yokozuna. After the match, Hogan then has a match with Yokozuna and took the title off of him. Hogan had the black eye going. It was just stupid.
Yeah, wasn't that the debut of the Giant Gonzalez? That was just awful.
He was against The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Then we're at WrestleMania 10, New York City, Madison Square Garden. So this was 94.
Ooh. 94. Good Lord. This was towards the end of the what would you call it? Not the PG era, but the
what did they call it? New Generation era.
Yeah.
I believe it was called.
Oh man, I'm trying to think here. Man, I got nothing.
It was a rematch. It was Yokozuna against Bret Hart, but Roddy Piper was special guest referee. Yeah, I don't remember that one very well. WrestleMania 11, Hartford, Connecticut. This was 1995.
1995, Hartford, Connecticut. This was back in the days when they started the in your house stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah.
God, this was the one. This was the one with Lawrence Taylor in it, wasn't it?
You are correct. Who did he face?
Oh God, wasn't it Lawrence Taylor and Bam Bam Bigelow?
You got it.
Okay,
Good poll. Good poll.
Yeah.
Pat Patterson was a special guest referee, but we'll chalk it up. All right, so now we're in WrestleMania 12 from the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim. It was 96.
96. This one is.
You should know this one.
This one's Iron Man match. Michaels and Hart.
Yep, boyhood dream came true.
Yep.
Then we're at WrestleMania 13 in Rosemont. So 1997.
All right, let me see. Rosemont. So let's see. You got one of these points. Undertaker is a freaking main event. I don't know if it's this one or the following. I'm gonna go Taker in the main event.
Got it. Who'd he face?
I knew you were gonna ask that. That doesn't count. That doesn't count for good.
You're close.
Oh,
you're halfway there.
This is a long shot. Was it Sid Vicious?
It is.
Okay.
He shit his pants in this match.
That's right. Okay. All right. That one. Paul, I got lucky on that one. Okay.
Yes, you did.
Now we're getting the era. I think Paul can start getting some of these right.
Okay.
Even though I think Paul's looking at the list.
No, I'm bowing out. I'm looking at work.
This was 23 years ago today.
Yeah, this is easy. This is Stone Cold Michaels with the Tyson.
Yep.
Deal. Yeah.
Austin era begun.
Yep.
So then we're at WrestleMania 15 in Philadelphia. This was 1999.
1999. After that would have been Stone Cold and The Rock.
Yep.
Yeah. That's because didn't they? I remember. I don't know if you guys read JR's book, but
I did. Yeah.
Didn't they request JR to come back and call that match?
Yep.
I remember JR talking about how nervous he was.
Yep.
After his
Bell's palsy.
Bell's palsy and everything. And I remember reading his book. I was on an airplane somewhere. I guess that's the only time I read, obviously.
I mean, you on an airplane's pretty common these days, so.
Long story, Paul. I'm not flying for a long time. But I just remember reading that. Like that's almost like how he opened his book up, talking about getting ready to go through the curtain and to call this match. So,
yep.
Yeah.
And then WrestleMania 2000, in the year 2000. Still weird that they didn't call it 16. Well,
remember the whole 2000 thing, everything, the computers. were gonna
I2K, yeah.
everybody was, everybody thought.
Yeah.
Y2J.
This main event sucked, but what was the main event in
This was
WrestleMania
the-
2000?
This was the stupid one with the Triple H.
He was one of them.
Yeah, it was Triple H and Stephanie.
Yep.
God, who did they? Flip. The Rock was involved.
Yeah, he's another.
Mick Foley was involved.
He's another.
That's
Got one
all.
more. You got one more.
It was either Vince or Shane.
Well, it was a McMahon in every corner. So each McMahon was represented by somebody. So you're missing a wrestler.
So 2000, if it wasn't Big Show,
Yep. Because Stone Cold and Undertaker both they were both hurt at this time at this
Okay.
Mania. So,
yeah, 'cause I figured that was before the whole Stone Cold and McMahon feud. So
Right.
I figured that was a little too early.
they really screwed it up. It should have been Triple H and The Rock because Mick Foley had already retired, and then they literally brought him out of retirement after a month, and they just threw Big Show in there. It was awful. It was awful. WrestleMania 17, arguably the best WrestleMania of all time, the Astrodome.
Yeah, we had back to Stone Cold and The Rock.
Yeah, My Way by Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, that really shows my age.
That was the best video package for a pay-per-view of all time, though. I love that video package.
Back in the early 2000s with that, we called it alternative rock, right? The WWE was WWF at the time, was so good with.
Yeah, they were.
I think they had some Corn, they had Limp
Yep.
Bizkit, they had
Kid Rock.
They had I think they had some Green Day, which you would be a fan of, Tanner.
Mm-hmm.
Kid Rock, like they did awesome production back in the day.
Yeah. WrestleMania 18 from Toronto.
Hogan and Rock.
No, should have been, but it was not the main event.
No, in the main event.
It should have been because it was right before the main event. It killed the main event.
Sorry, there you go, Paul. I gave you a little bit.
Yep.
That
was Jericho and Triple H for the undisputed title.
When Jericho won that, didn't he?
Jericho went in as champ and Triple H beat him.
All right, there you go, Paul. You got one up on us. I got a little crazy there.
WrestleMania.
You've missed 3 so far.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good. WrestleMania 19 from Safeco Field in Seattle.
I watched this one. I remember watching this one because wasn't this one of the first baseball stadiums they did?
It was the first one that they experimented with.
It was Angle and Lesnar.
Yep, Lesnar went for the shooting star press, damn near broke his neck.
Mm-hmm.
It should have been remembered for one thing. It was remembered for another reason. But
I remember watching that one live.
That was a good pay-per-view. That was a really good pay-per-view.
Remember they had the gimmick battle royal.
Yes,
they had the gimmick like Cornette was in it and all the Doink the Clown.
Yep.
I was thoroughly entertained.
When Piper came back for Hogan against McMahon and Shawn Michaels and Y2J stole the show. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
This is when I started watching heavily again. WrestleMania 20, Madison Square Garden. So I remember this one like it was yesterday.
This was when this is Benoit, Triple H. Now, was it a triple threat? I remember Benoit and Triple H. You're being quiet.
I can't give any hints because you got to run the table, so I got to shut my mouth.
Yeah, this is for you guys not to have to deal with me.
I swear there was a triple threat here. Man,
One of the best main events in Mania history, even though it's not talked about for.
And I could give you a clue here, but
you could, go ahead, Paul.
No, because it'll give it away.
I'm on the fence here. I'm gonna go against my judgment. It was a triple threat with Shawn Michaels.
He got it. Then they ran it back at Backlash the next month.
Okay,
that's what I was gonna. My clue was gonna be it'll break your heart and see if you caught on. But
yeah, it was a hell of a main event, hell of a show, really.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously nowadays they don't celebrate that one very much because of
No.
no.
Well, it's sad too with Eddie too. I mean, because he had a good match against Angle that night. So WrestleMania 21, Staples Center in Los Angeles.
This was the breaking out of Batista, wasn't it? Batista, Triple H.
Yep.
Flair got involved, or Flair was involved somehow. Was he the ref?
He just tried to interfere.
He wasn't the ref. Okay.
Great storyline there with the Batista evolution. That was fantastic.
Yeah, that was kind of the kickoff for Batista.
Because Cena beat JBL that night, so it was and really Randy Orton gave Undertaker all he wanted too. So that was a heck of a mania too.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 22 in Rosemont Allstate Arena. This was the last WrestleMania before they went completely stadiums.
Yep. And this was the breakout of Cena. Cena beat. God, I remember this one because I remember Cena. This is when he was. I thought he was an awful rapper, by the way.
Yeah, that's when he had that number one selling album.
The Doctor of Thugonomics was better than Hustle, Loyalty, and Respect, where we're going to bleep out what's on his shirt.
Man, he wouldn't have beat Batista because it's two faces. He would have beat Triple H.
Got it. Made him tap.
Okay, he made him tap. Okay.
Yeah, I made him tap. WrestleMania 23 from Detroit, Ford Field.
Okay,
this was the Donald Trump WrestleMania, by the way.
Yeah. I remember I watched these, so I would have been in. Luckily Rochester had Dish Network at the time. Mm-hmm. Sorry, RTC, if anybody RTC watches. We had Dish Network at the time. I remember Dad always getting PO'd because he's like, "What's this $59?" Or Dad, I'm not watching it all videos.
And Mania was like 70 or 80. Because they would bump up the price more for Mania.
Yeah, I thought usually they were 39 or 49, but I always thought Mania was 60.
Okay, I knew they bumped it up for Mania, so maybe.
Yeah, so, all right, where was this they just went $60 across the board.
WrestleMania 23 from Ford Field in Detroit.
Yeah, so we would have had Cena and Michaels.
Yep, you got it. Yep. It was supposed to be Cena and Triple H tore his quad, I think, or.
No,
not the original quad. Maybe this was a different. That
wasn't when he tore both.
No.
Vince tore both quads.
Yeah, Vince tore both quads in the Rumble.
But that was Cena and Batista when they that whole mess. Yep.
This should have been main evented by Batista and Undertaker, and they were pissed, and they're like, "Let's go tear the house down," and that's what they did. So, WrestleMania 24 from the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida.
Citrus Bowl. Was this one if I remember correctly, was this when they started getting completely crazy with the
sets?
Yeah. Because that was like, I mean, that's a big football arena.
Oh, that's the one that has the longest ramp. That's the one that's just stupid. It takes like 3 minutes to get to the damn ring.
So the first one, that would have been, I'm not saying this made a bit, but that would have been the didn't Floyd Mayweather and Big Show have that stupid when Floyd came out in those stupid furry pants or furry shorts or whatever and knocked out the Big Show, which he had to get a step ladder to get to him.
Yep. Which interesting. You're talking about the Big Show real quick. I just read this yesterday. The year before at 23, they wanted Hogan to come back and slam the Big Show in a match, but Big Show wouldn't agree to lose to Hogan, and Hogan wanted more money than they were offering. So they had Kane slam Khali instead.
But if that was the Big Show, that match, so your main event would have been Taker Edge.
You got it.
And it took Taker half an hour to get to the ring because the ramp was so long.
I think they all took that.
Shep's got a good chance, I think, to run the table here, Paul.
Yeah, I know.
We're getting to the point where I was watching, and then towards the end is where I'm going to struggle, Paul.
This is WrestleMania 25, Reliance Stadium in Houston, Texas.
Yeah, I know this one. I watched this one. This was Triple H and Randy Orton.
God awful main event.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Well, and I don't know how you live up to Michaels and Undertaker that year. That was one of the best.
Wasn't that a Bosch finish though? Wasn't clean.
Yeah, it's just for the story. The story was great the whole time. I mean, you had Triple H breaking into Randy's house and everything, but the main event just wasn't good.
It's one of my favorite feuds with Triple H because it got so personal, and that was back when, the cameras would do what they're trying to do now and follow you to the house while you beat the crap out of each other.
And that started Orton's Viper. He was such a crazy heel. It was a really good run for him. I've always been a big Randy fan, so I really enjoyed that era. WrestleMania, where are we? 26, University of Phoenix Stadium in Glendale, Arizona.
Yeah, this one was an epic one. It was Taker and Michaels.
Streak against career. Yep.
Yeah, It was freaking awesome. Great match.
Then this one's when I got back in. I took a break for a couple of years. So I missed 23, 24, 25, and 26. I got back into wrestling right around WrestleMania 27. This was Atlanta, Georgia, at the Georgia Dome.
I enjoyed this main event.
You did?
What? Main event? Well, the very ending I enjoyed, but the main event match sucked.
This was what the coming out party from the Miz, right?
Yep.
He beat Cena.
Yep.
Somebody was with the Miz though. He wasn't by himself.
The Rock interfered as a special guest.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then I think was it the following year when the Miz lost the title in the quickest? And it was one of the first shows when they had to split titles, right?
I know who you're thinking of, but it wasn't the Miz.
I thought it was the Miz that lost it in 11 seconds.
It wasn't the Miz.
No, wasn't the Miz.
Who was it?
Daniel Bryan.
Was it Daniel? Did Miz win that?
No,
Sheamus did.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
with the bro kick after he gave AJ Lee a kiss.
Yep. We are talking about WrestleMania 28 from Sun Life Stadium in Miami, by the way, Shep.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I always thought the Miz was the.
Nope, that was the AJ Lee storyline with who she was screwing that week.
All right.
Whether it was Kane or Brian or Punk or Cena or Randy or whoever she could, put her arms around.
So where's our next? Our next one's Miami.
Yeah, this is Miami. We're in Miami right now. 28. Yep, that's the one we're needing.
Okay, so Miami's the one where The Rock came back. It was Rock and Cena.
You got it. Yep. Because Punk faced Jericho and Undertaker. Triple H was Hell in a Cell. It was really good Mania. Then Mania 29 was New York.
Right, and that was Rock and Cena.
Yep, and Rock hurt himself.
We haven't seen Rock since that one, right? Well, in the ring.
Correct, because he tore his pelvis right off the bone. He was supposed to set up a angle with Lesnar the next night for 30, but didn't happen. So
no.
WrestleMania 30, New Orleans.
New Orleans. That was the triple threat: Batista, Daniel Bryan, Triple H, Triple H. No, Randy Orton.
Yeah, he corrected it. He beat Triple H earlier in the night. So.
Beat Triple H early in the night to get to the triple threat. Yeah.
Thank God WWE listened to the fans that year, because
that was the one. That was the one that Hogan came out and just screwed up.
Yep, called it the Silver Dome instead of Superdome, but that was cool with Hogan, The Rock, and Stone Cold that year. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 31, Santa Clara, California, Levi's Stadium.
So this was the one where Rollins cashed in Money in the Bank, and he defeated. He pin Lesnar? Or he pinned Roman.
Well, you get it right because you just named both guys, but he pinned Roman.
I think he pinned Roman now.
He pinned Roman because Lesnar went for the F5 and Roman hit him with a spear, and then Seth hit Roman with a curb stomp.
Yeah. I remember. I watched that one. That was one of the ones where I think I didn't watch a lot of professional wrestling, but I always tuned into WrestleMania. I always have a tradition here in Rochester. I get me a New Biano's pizza, and I watch Mania on Sunday. And I remember I didn't watch a lot of Raw or SmackDown leading up to that, but I tuned into Mania, and I kind of knew who the guys were. And I knew Rollins was with the shield and the up, and I remember watching it. I was truly shocked. Like, I bit into that hook, line, and sinker.
Well, I remember I was working with you at the time. I just started.
Yeah.
And I just found out you were interested in pro wrestling, and I remember talking to you about that Mania. So that's
Yeah.
A year and a half to figure out I was a wrestling fan, so he paid more attention to what you were doing than what I was doing. Had the IC title sitting on my desk the entire time. He'd looked at my desk numerous times, never registered until AEW was already in the talks.
Yeah, I'm a little oblivious at times.
A little.
Shut up, Paul. WrestleMania 32, Arlington, Texas, AT&T Stadium.
So following that, we would have had Trips would have got back in the segment. So it would have been Reigns and Trips.
I hated that match. I thought it was trash.
Well, Trips was on his way out.
I thought that whole Mania was trash.
And I know it was before. I don't remember much of the Mania-ish.
Ambrose and Lesnar did not put on a very good match in a street fight.
No, he just suplexed his ass everywhere.
They had AJ Styles lose his first Mania match to Jericho.
That's the one. Remember, that's when the network came out.
Yeah.
And wasn't that the one where Jericho came back and just Vince, was it Jericho and Styles or Jericho and KO where Vince was just pissed?
That was the following year, the Jericho KO, because that was supposed to main event and it didn't.
Yeah, and
that was the one reason Jericho left. He was still pissed off about that.
Vince was just pissed when that one went.
Yeah.
So
that was 32. 33's back in Orlando, Camping World Stadium, which it got renamed from what it was the previous time.
So that would have then Romans would have went over Taker.
Yep, it should have been Taker's last match.
Yes.
That was also Goldberg against Lesnar, because that's what took place of what should have been Owens and Jericho.
So that would have been 2 years in a row Taker lost to Mania, right?
Not 2 years in a row.
Well, wasn't the year before was when Lesnar? No,
the year before was Triple H Reigns.
Year before, it was New Orleans where Taker lost to Lesnar, right?
But he wasn't the main event. You're right.
Yeah.
Those were his two WrestleMania losses. You're right.
Yeah.
We are back in New Orleans for WrestleMania 34, Mercedes-Benz Superdome.
This would have been. Oh man.
Getting into the tricky ones now.
Yeah, no, I know this one. This would have been. I want to say Kofi, but it's a year too early. Man. I'm confused on it. I can't remember.
He's got to run the table, Paul.
90%. Am I over 90%, Paul, where I can miss one?
Yeah.
I think it's too. Oh man, is this one? Yeah, this is too early for Kofi. This is Lesnar Roman.
You got it. And Lesnar beat him, and everybody was shocked.
That was a guess.
Because that's the one Lesnar goes backstage and grill and threw the title at Vince.
And Vince called him an asshole.
Yeah. Which I would never call Brock Lesnar an asshole. All right, now we're WrestleMania 35. This was the longest Mania ever. I fell asleep during the main event. It was the New Jersey one that shut down the subways.
It was like, 17 and a half hours long.
It was long.
One day.
I still think I'm early on Kofi here. This was the first ever women's.
You are correct, but who was in it?
Was this is the one that Rousey didn't think she tapped or something like that, right? So it would have been the triple threat. It'd been Rousey and Charlotte and Becky.
Yeah, Becky won, and there was kind of a botch finish with the tapping and the pin. But I remember
I thought it was the shoulder or something.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, it was.
Shoulder was up.
Right. And Charlotte made a cool entrance from the helicopter, like her dad did years ago.
Yes.
Years before that. So, okay, now we are in. The worst WrestleMania ever. WrestleMania 36 from the Performance Center, but this started 2 nights, so you have 2 main events now in the next few that you have to guess right.
Dun, dun.
So, what was the night 1 main event of WrestleMania 36?
Oh.
He almost made it explicit.
Oh, yeah.
While he's thinking, by the way, I love the fact that you said, "Oh, this will take up about
38.
We're still not done yet.
We'll fly through the AEW tonight.
I remember the first that was the first cinematic match. Was it Taker and AJ at the Bone?
That was night 1.
Oh man,
Taker's last match. It was awesome.
Okay, so that had to been
He's all excited.
McIntyre and Big Show.
Technically, yes, but that was shown on Raw. Drew beat somebody else before that.
Yeah, because isn't that when they called back? I remember he was on the Network 360 documentary. Didn't they call back? What the hell's his name? The big guy, fucking. Was with
There it is.
Oh, sorry. Braun Strowman? Braun, right?
Braun beat Goldberg because Reigns wasn't going to do it with his cancer stuff and COVID. So this is going to chalk up as a loss for you here, but it was Drew beat Lesnar.
Oh,
and then he beat Big Show.
Come on, I was a 50%er. I got the first night right with the boat. That was the first ever cinematic match, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
So then the following year was WrestleMania 37 with a part crowd. So you got night 1 and night 2.
Night 1 and night 2. God, all right. One of these nights, I remember watching it too. It was my boy Kofi. I enjoy that dude. And then one night we had, man, I'm too early. So what year were they? All right, give me a little hint. What year would we be talking here?
This was 2021.
Yeah.
They had like 25,000 there in Raymond James, even though it holds a lot more than that.
Oh, yeah. A lot.
This was the one that rained, and Samoa Joe was in a poncho. It was hilarious because he was on commentary.
Yeah. So the first night we had a women's match.
Yes.
Bianca versus Sasha.
Got it.
Ooh.
Yep.
I've never heard of Sasha. Who's she?
New talent. Up and cover.
No, okay.
All right,
start
night
over
2.
in New Japan, or is she currently in Japan?
She was a jobber on WrestleMania main event.
Night 2.
Night 2 would have been Night 2. We're coming out of the pandemic.
Thing is, I watched this and I don't remember that being the main event.
It was a good match, but yet it was kind of forgettable. If that makes sense, if you can be both.
So we're coming out of the pandemic.
Right.
The return right before the pandemic. The big return was Edge.
Yes.
Roman versus Edge. Wasn't Rome? Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
Well, what? Hold on, Tanner.
Yes.
We'll give him 10 seconds, Paul, because this is make or break
Yes.
for Friday night right here.
Well, there was that. They had a triple threat with Daniel, but that wasn't at Mania, was it? That was at. I swear that was at Survivor Series at SummerSlam. Oh man.
Do 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 do.
Well, obviously my answer is not correct with Edge versus Roman, so I'm throwing Daniel in there.
He got triple threat. All right.
I thought that was at SummerSlam or. Oh man, yeah.
Yes, I just threw a temper tantrum on camera.
Then last year, WrestleMania 38, Arlington, Texas, AT&T Stadium, night 1, night 2. Got to get them both.
Well, the one night was dipshit part-timer versus part-timer.
Wow. That just, listed off like half of the roster.
Well, I'm talking Roman and Lesnar was one night. I know that.
Yeah, that was the whole.
Because McAfee was involved. It was freaking KO and Stone Cold, and then McAfee got involved. My boy drinking beer after he got stunned, and then Austin Theory got involved, and Vince McMahon got involved. But McAfee looked like $1 million.
You got it. You did really well. You did really well.
I missed four, didn't I?
Paul, you're still in it. You're still in it Friday night.
Oh, I'll hold up my end of the bargain.
No, you're still in it. That's fine. I think.
Right.
Hey, I want to beat you fair and square.
Yeah.
All
Good
right.
job, Shep. That was a lot better than I ever imagined anybody would do on that.
So when did my boy Kofi win?
That was in New York.
Yeah.
But he wasn't the main event.
He wasn't the main event.
Yeah,
It
35.
was Mania, but it wasn't main event.
No, that wasn't a double main event. Yeah, they did the women's match was the main event that year.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
So I was